Someone I met at a podcast convention 2 years ago emailed me this week to let me know that they noticed my business has massive gaps, is basically found wanting, and the only way my business is going to succeed is to jump on a 20-minute call with them. Friends, friends. Let's talk about what not to do when somebody gives you their business card. Hello, my beautiful entrepreneurs. My name is Tabitha Bear, and this is A Hot Mess Builds an Empire. I let you know at the beginning of every episode that I have absolutely no idea what it is that I'm doing, but I'm doing it with the energy of someone who's tripped and is making a career out of the fall. So let's get some backstory on this whole email business. So every year I go to different podcast conventions, different creative entrepreneurship conventions, financial conventions, anything that I feel like will help me network, help me make me and my business better. So some years I may not go to the same thing, but usually every year I try to go to some type of like podcast movement or evolutions or something like that, something that there's lots of people, lots of networking, lots of really cool side stuff going on. Anyway, I went to a type of podcast convention a couple years ago when I was, coming out of the midst of residual 2020. I'm not going to say it. Um, and really starting to get World Her Story out into the open. And I remember distinctly, I went to like this women's podcasting meetup. There were like 50 or 60 women there. It was really awesome. And we were all like indie podcasters or people who help people with their podcast marketing. And like everybody had like a different type of something or another that they brought to the podcasting community. And I just remember that we all had business cards and we were basically shuffling them around like a dealer in a casino. Anytime somebody would sit down at the table, whoop, there went a business card. And I'm not even kidding. We made a game of it. We were literally shuffling out our business cards. I must have gone home with like 30 or 40 business cards from literally just that meetup, which is amazing because I love to see what other people are doing. I love to see if there's a way that I can connect with someone like, hey, I see you're in podcast marketing. I'm really struggling with my podcast and how to market it. And I now have the business card of like 4 people I could reach out to. So when people are in these sort of casual, informal settings, and even if it's like a one-on-one setting, I just think it's in such poor taste to add someone to your funnel. I have a specific email for newsletters. And then I have an email on my business card that is to get into contact with me for collaboration, for maybe business, whatever that looks like. So to use the email that I have on a business card to add to your funnel without my consent is just like, it's just a huge no. It's a huge no. And when I realized the first email I got, I was like, oh, maybe she's just because it was like a follow up email, right? Like, hey, we met here, blah, blah, blah. Nice to meet you. And there was like some personalized things in there. So I figured it was like for me. I responded back. Thanks so much. It was really nice to meet you too. Whatever. Right. It was very casual, like, hey, thanks so much for your time. And then I got added to the funnel. So I unsubscribed immediately because that's what adults do. And I still kept getting some one-off emails here and there, and I was just like, "Come on, like, what are you doing?" So, but they were so few and far between that I would just delete them, and I was like, "Oh, maybe just reaching out with general services to a mass email list or whatever." But this week, I got an email that was specifically addressed to me about my World Her Story podcast, about my business. There were dates of when I have last posted, dates of when my last episode for World Her Story aired. And it was basically like, you're doing a terrible job. There are massive gaps in your business. And the only way you can be helped is with a 20-minute call. First of all, let me just say, knowing myself, I know that it would take more than a 20-minute call to help me in my business. Like, I'm just throwing that out there. Um, but listen, there's just etiquette when you get someone's business card. And that really drives me crazy because this person was not the only person to add me to their funnel with my business card. And I just think that's it's such a shady way to try to get subscribers. So when you're in that situation, especially if you are a new entrepreneur and you are in that situation of connecting with people, potentially looking at collaborations, going to conventions and whatever, and like looking to share war stories, or maybe you vibed with someone and you just want to like talk to them again, like whatever it is, like please, please, please do not add them to your email funnel. Like just read the room on that. That just a whole lot of nope. Now, listen, I get the cold outreach thing. Um there's a whole thing about being a cold outreach person, like going into people's DMs, commenting on things that you see on like other people's accounts, like that takes brass, man. And I get it. Like when you are an entrepreneur, you're hustling in any way that you feel comfortable doing, or maybe you're in a conversation with someone on someone else's account and then you feel like it might be kind of a warm lead and you're like, "Hey, just so you know, I do this." And you drop like your stand store link or something. You know what I mean? Like I get it. I know that there are people who've been very successful, and people who've commented on their reels, they will cold DM them right away. "Hey, I noticed you commented on my reel. This is what I have going on." And they've seen massive success from that engagement, which is fabulous. I think that's so cool. But please don't do that with my business card. Please don't do that to anybody's business card. Like, there is just such a shift of a difference. Like, I didn't give you my business card to potentially become your client or customer. I gave you my business card because I thought we were connecting and networking. So, that's just something that really fired me up this week and really sensationally pissed me off. So, and I think too, because like um, you know, for those of you who've been following my YouTube channel, and I know that I say this often, know that I was in a really bad car accident. I've had subsequent surgeries and procedures since that time, and my consistency on YouTube has really fallen off quite a lot the last month or so, just because of I needed to recuperate. Um, and for somebody to reach out to me and to clearly not have been like looking at my most recent videos or my most recent content, to see that I shared that story of like, "Hey, listen, I'm going through a rough time right now," to just send me, "Hey, this is when you last posted to your podcast and there are massive gaps and you're not consistent." Like, you you did some homework, not all your homework. You didn't even pitch me with tact. You didn't even pitch me with, proper research. So, just keep that in mind. If you are one of those people who does the cold outreach thing, just make sure you have some finesse. Make sure you're doing it with some thoughtfulness. If you're going to be reaching out to people, like I would stalk their account a little bit and just be like, "Hey, listen, I saw you commented here. I really thought this was a thoughtful comment. And I see that we have mutual friends. I see that you've been here. If they have a public profile, like I've seen that you've been to Mexico. I've also been in this place in Mexico. You know what I mean? Like connect with them on a human level. Don't message me or anybody and just be like, "Hey, your business sucks, and the only way it can be fixed is a call with me." And I not only made sure I unsubscribed to that, but I blocked that person too, because I just don't need to see more emails like that. I already know where it is that my gaps are. A lot of that has to do with consistency and insecurities, and I'm working on that. But I also am healing from medical procedures. So, um, I have to give and take a little bit. And I watched one of my own videos the other day where I was talking about giving yourself some grace, and I gave myself some grace. So it's just one of those things, like please don't reach out to me if you have absolutely no interest in actually getting to know me as a person. That's all I'm going to say. So, anyway, I actually have a bit of announcement to make. Um, Listen, I'm about to eat my words. I'm about to eat my words. I said in multiple videos that I was not going to do coaching. Maybe 10 to 15 years down the line, something to that effect. I don't even want to go through the videos to post like a clip of that video to share what it is that I said, because I just I know already what I said. You don't have to tell me. I already know that I said I was probably never going to be a coach, and if I did, it would be down the line. However, there are people who reached out to me on LinkedIn. And listen, I know this is one of them. Well, Tabitha, you only have 28 subscribers. Yeah, but people like to talk to me in my DMs. So I've had a couple people reach out to me on LinkedIn, and I had a couple people find me on Instagram, which I thank you for doing that. Um, Asking if I would open up my calendar to just have a chat. So I have hemmed and hawed about this for weeks because I just wasn't sure. And really what it came down to, I say as I fix my posture and I get more confident. This was about insecurity. I've had my business for 10 years. It has its ebbs and flows because there were times that I was dedicated to it full time. There are times I've been dedicated to it part time. There's times like right now where uh, I'm healing from surgery and a car accident, so I'm getting to it when I can get to it. Um, so there are a lot of things that I understand about running a business in a variety of different fashions with many different variables, such as not having a job, having a full time job, going through a global pandemonium, all of the things, right? So I have a lot of experience in running a creative entrepreneurial company. And this is specifically for day one entrepreneurs. My entrepreneurs, my people that I talk to out there, this is not for someone who's had a business like me for 10 years. This is for someone who has the idea, doesn't know where to get started, just started, and they're like, I've been doing this for 3 months and I'm drowning. Everything feels like it's on fire. I feel like I don't know anything. I feel like I know everything. I don't know where to get anything. If you're looking for clarity, if you're looking for some type of structure, book a call with me. I opened up my calendar. I'm going to see how this fits. I'm going to see how it goes with myself and my schedule. I'm going to see how it goes with anybody who's interested in booking a call with me. I've dropped my Stan Store link in the description here on this video. So if you are interested in kind of getting some more information about it, you can go through my Stan Store and you can see like the description of everything. But basically what would happen is we're going to spend an hour together. And before that hour, in your confirmation email, you will get a form to fill out where it asks you a bunch of questions. That's basically what's beautiful, bad, ugly, chaotic, messy. Give me all of your things. Tell me everything. I don't want you to hold back. I want you to tell me everything. All the links, even if you're not active. Your business name, what's your idea or mission or whatever. I want to know everything so that this way I can come fully prepared to help you, whether that's, like I said, just a little bit of clarity, a 30-day plan, whatever it is that you're looking for. I've opened up the calendar for a little bit of coaching calls. I'm calling it Hot Mess Triage. So please believe me, there's still going to be some cheek and sass in there. And how I talk in these videos is how I talk in person. So very direct, maybe a little long winded, but I promise you it will be efficient and I will not waste your time. I'm looking to make sure that we get the needle moving forward for you. And yeah, so thank you to those of you who reached out and kind of convinced me to do this because I've never done this before and this is going to be brand new and it's going to be really interesting. I had a call this morning with my entrepreneur friends and we have a monthly call and I did say, I was like, hey, what do you guys think if I started coaching? And everybody clapped and screamed and they were like, yes, finally, she's doing it. So that tells me that I'm onto something, right? When people are cheering you on immediately, and trust me, I don't want to say they're a tough crowd because that's not true, but they are an honest crowd. So if there's something that's not working, they will let you know and they give you great feedback, and they're just such amazing women and they're so cool. So when they were just like immediately cheering me on and happy for me, that tells me that I was doing something really great, right? So, yeah, I open up the calendar, it's ready to go. I will be taking calls Thursday, Friday, and Saturday for right now. Um, I am on the East Coast time, so I'm doing about 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. is the latest call I'll be taking. So I know that there are some people who follow me and reached out to me who are on the West Coast of the United States. And then I think one person was in, I think Japan or Vietnam. Um, so hopefully that time frame works for a lot of the time zones all around the world. If that doesn't work, please message me on Instagram, and we'll figure it out. Like if we need to schedule something outside of the times that I have available in my stand store. But yeah, so that's the big announcement. I can't believe it. I'm actually going to be doing coaching calls. But like I said, we'll see how it goes. If nobody wants to partake and it doesn't go anywhere, that we can't say that I didn't try, right? And that's the whole point of being a creative entrepreneur, is trying new things. And people tell you what it is that they want, and sometimes they want a coach. And then sometimes they realize they don't particularly want you to be their coach, and that's okay. But yeah, so we're going to see how it goes. Hot mess triage, kind of keeping in line with Hot Mess Builds an Empire. That's me, I'm the hot mess. And yeah, so over the next week, I am going to be traveling. I am going to keep posting, I promise. I feel like this last week I've really been coming out of the mist, and I just feel really good. So I'm very happy about that. But I am going to be traveling the next week. So I might be doing these videos like outside while touching grass and getting sun. Depends on the weather, but it will be different backgrounds, and it will still be talking head, but it won't be with my lovely boom arm, which I will miss. So, but it'll be okay because I have plenty of microphones to go on the road. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please check out my stand store. It is updated, so there are some new things in there. There are some things taken out of there. So please check it out, and I will see you guys tomorrow.